when I looked at his leg, he pulled up his trousers and I could see scars the size of a penny, which is about 1.25 inches, the old penny, were dotted at intervals all the way up his leg. And these were white scars, sunk quite deep into the flesh, where the skin had been pulled off.
Before he died in 1971, Cox told the story to his sisters, as well as to his friend, a biologist, Professor Cloudsley Thompson.
Yes, he didn't show me that. He only showed me the...
You did that?
You were his sisters, and this was in the mess. There were 12 of them on the raft initially, and only 3 survived to the end of the 5 days. And one of the most horrifying things that happened while they were lying there, dying one by one from thirst, was one evening when they were attacked by giant squid. An enormous shape appeared beside the raft, and a huge arm came over and snatched one of the men and tore him off the raft before anybody could do anything to save him. And presumably he was eaten. And they were still barely recovering from the shock of this when another arm or tentacle came over the side of the raft. He saw it silhouetted against the starlit sky, and it fastened itself on him, round his leg and round his body, particularly his right leg, because that's where the scars mainly were, he showed me, but I believe he'd said that they were on the rest of his body as well. And he'd have been pulled off just like the others, only fortunately, by that time people were alert, and so they grabbed on and held him. And instead of him being pulled over the side, the suckers pulled lumps of skin off him, off his body. And this is what caused these massive number of scars all over him.
Well, it went steaming 30 miles off, 25 to 30 miles off. Saw what I thought was an upturned boat on the horizon.
So we went over to investigate. When we got closer, we could see it wasn't an upturned boat. It was something that, well, neither of us had seen before. It was dark in colour, it had sort of humps on the back. As you say, it was, well, between 15 and 18 feet in length, and rising above the sea about 3 feet. It was a flat, calm day. There was no disturbance on the sea at all.
When we got up closer, went a little closer, I came astern, to our amazement, up out the water about 3 feet from this body, head appeared out the water. And it was a thing I've never seen before after about 40 years at sea. And it gradually sank in the water and disappeared. But after talking about it, the only thing we could explain it was very much like a prehistoric animal.
I can't see that this carcass was a rotting basking shark. In the first place, this animal showed no signs of rotting. It was absolutely complete, unmarked. The monster measured approximately 28 feet from the tip of the nose to the end of the tail. The body, as it lay on the ground, was approximately 5 to 6 feet deep. The body could be described as having 3 parts, the body, the neck and the tail, and the neck and tail tapered very gradually away from the body. The animal had teeth about perhaps that size, and on both jaws. In the stomach of the creature was a small portion of what I took to be a seaman's jersey. It was an open knitted portion of some knitted material. And the other thing, strangely enough, was the corner of what can be described as an old-fashioned tablecloth. Just the corner, and it was complete with tassels.
To the Sherpas, he's got a conical scalp, rather pointed ears, splayed nose, he's shaggy, he's bald around the chest and his tummy, and has a fairly human face. He's very nasty tempered, very, very nasty indeed, and is known to rip people apart if he gets a chance.
I heard what sounded like bird cries from at the back of me, and I looked at the Sherpa, and he said, "Yeti coming, Sam." So I whipped round and looked up the mountain, and I saw 2 black crows flying away and a black shape drop behind the ridge. Well, my first thoughts were, Christ, what do I do now? Grab the ice axe or what? And then quite suddenly, it was almost as if it realised that it was being watched, so to speak. Quite suddenly, it shot across the whole slope of the mountain. It must have travelled half a mile in a diagonal line downwards, and it was obviously heading towards a rocky cliff or some rocky outcrop there.
Just got bigger and bigger as we went closer to it, and it was hairy and just didn't look, well, I wanted to close my eyes, but you didn't want it. You want to look, you want to see what you're going to see, but yet you don't.
What do you think they ought to do about him around here?
Kill him. He might hurt somebody.
They believe in the notion suggested by an outsider that Bigfoot is attracted to menstruating women. This bait consisted of some used feminine articles. Dennis Newman reporting from Little Eagle, South Dakota.
We measured him. Dad had his rule. We measured him when we went up. He stepped 67.5 inches, which is a long step. And then when he went down, he came down the road, and when he stopped at the edge of the road, he went off the road into the timber, down into the rough brush and timber. He stepped 7 feet when he stepped down in there. And I followed him for a little ways down in there, but I decided I didn't want to go down in there and see what made those tracks.
And one place, he come to a fence, about a 4-foot barbed wire fence, and he just stepped over that like it wasn't there. So I had to crawl through or under.